Money soldier, I thought I told you. Only rockin' with the agent and the broker, yeah. Move over, we getting bolder. Making moves like the agent and the broker, yeah. Generational wealth, they bout that. Yeah, we took some L's, but we bounced back. Financial literacy, got that. Closing up the wealth gap, yeah, I'm black. Welcome to the Agent and Broker Podcast, hosted by Julian and James. And you know they bringing nothing but that black boss talk, man. Cause there's no currency stronger than the black dollar. And it's time we let the world know. But first we gotta grow though, and that's for sure.
Good evening, everybody. How y'all doing tonight? James, how's it going, man?
Man, I'm blessed, highly favored. Can't wait for the show to get started. I hope everybody so far having a wonderful day. How you doing, brother? How's everything?
Everything is great, brother. Just another week, another day, ready to get to it, man. And everybody, welcome to the Agent and Broker Podcast. We're another week, another episode down. And tonight we have a very, very special guest. We're excited for this guy to come on here, man. It's really an honor that he, actually, agreed to coming on the podcast, and we're excited to get it kicking and popping. What you think, James?
Yes, sir. I'm ready. And this is somebody I knew of about 4 years ago, and he has no idea who I am.
Yeah.
And I remember I told you I wanted to walk into his office one day back when I was doing health plans. And I never got to do it. So today he's going to find out about it. But I think it's pretty cool, man, that we have him in the podcast today. I'm pretty excited.
Absolutely, man. And it's so amazing how things happen. He did the braces on my sister. And when I told her that I was interviewing her, she was just like, oh my gosh, I can't believe it. And then my mom, same way. But things come around the full circle. I actually met Brother Andre through Godfrey. And, we went to check out his farm and his garden, man. And it's just amazing to see, someone do such, great work and, teaching about health and growing your own food. So last week we covered a little bit about health, why people, are denied for life insurance. Why do they get denied? And health is probably that was the number one reason.
Number one, yes.
And we wanted to kind of, put that in front of people before we got to this episode, because what everything Andre has done is health related. So whether that's oral care and farming, like farming your own food is something that is very, very important and probably one of the healthiest routes when it comes to taking care of your body.
100%. With everything that's being put on our food, I mean, to have this guest coming tonight as a farmer, a health individual, it's something that is very, very important, and it's something that's something that's relate to what we do when it comes to life insurance, because the healthier you are, like Julian said, the better chance you have to actually qualify for life insurance, because as we always said, the life insurance company, the first thing they look at is your health, so if you're looking for that high death benefit, to have high living benefits, well, your health must be a certain way. Right. So, I'm pretty excited to unpack and dissect some of the things, some of the questions we have for Andre today. So, yeah, man, I'm very excited. I hope everybody is ready. And once again, as always, thank you to all our listeners, all the downloads. Yes. Make sure that we're on different platforms, Spotify, Google. We are in all of that. So thank you for all the supporters, all the downloads, and continue to share this as we bring value to our community.
Absolutely. So the moment everybody's waiting on, let's bring on Brother Adre Baptiste, Dr. Adre Baptiste, Andre the farmer. So many names, man. He's the GOAT. I call him legendary. So let's bring him on. Andre, Dr. Andre the farmer. Let me make sure.
Oh,
There we go. We
hey,
can hear you now. What's going on?
not much, man. How you guys doing?
Doing good.
You guys look very professional, man. I love the opening. You know, it was really professional. I'm nervous. Now I don't know if I can live up to the standard you guys are setting.
Well, I think since one of your viewers, a couple of them congratulate you on becoming an agent, so I think you can handle it.
Here's the ceremony.
Right?
Here's the ceremony. But yeah, we wanted to obviously first, before we get into everything, thank you. First and foremost, we thank you for joining us tonight and taking time out of your schedule away from your family and things like that, things that you do and things that you want to do. So it means everything to us, and we thank you for that as well.
Well, I appreciate you guys having me on. You know, I enjoy this kind of stuff. You know, I love talking to people. I love meeting new people. So this is fun for me. So I appreciate you guys.
Awesome. So to kick things off, guys, let's dig in. It's going to be very conversational, Andre. So you do know we want it to be as genuine as possible, and we're going to be asking you questions, kind of just peeling those layers back. Let's get into knowing who Adre Baptiste is. Not even about let's go start before the farmer and before the orthodontics. Who is Adre Baptiste and where you're from, and let's start there.
All right. Well, I grew up just outside of Toronto, Canada. My mother was born in Dominica, but she was raised in Barbados. My first year of life was spent pretty much in Barbados. My father was born in Grenada. My parents met in Canada, and that's where I grew up. So when I was 25, I graduated college. I was playing basketball in college in Canada, and then I went to Howard University for dental school. And I did that from 1995 to 1999. And then after that, I went back to Canada and practiced dentistry for a year. Then I came back to Howard, did my orthodontic residency for 2 years. And then in 2002, I moved to Florida and started practicing orthodontics. Now, at the time, I didn't have a green card. I was on a work visa. So I wasn't able to own a practice. I had to work for somebody. So I ended up working for a company called Central Florida Orthodontics. And it took 6 years to get a green card, which is crazy, being an orthodontist from Canada, 6 years. And a lot of legal bills as well, thousands of dollars. So every time I hear people say, people need to come here, legally, it's hard. It's really hard. And unless you've got thousands of dollars and a job already, you just can't just waltz into the country and come in legally. But anyways, that's a whole nother topic. But so once I got my green card, I bought the practice I was working in. And then a couple years later, I opened up the first Baptiste Orthodontics. I think that was 2010. And now we have 3 locations and pediatric dentistry as well.
Man, just in the opening, a lot of contents already, and I was actually taking notes. And just to piggyback and not to open a whole new conversation about coming here legally, I'm an immigrant myself, and I'm sure you can hear the accent. I'm from Haiti. The whole perspective, not boule. Look at Julian. Julian like, oh no, don't start, y'all. Don't even. But the whole perspective of coming here, the legal route, it's easier to say than done, because you have to have some strong connection for you to even go that route. And one thing, I mean, our viewers, I want you to keep in mind what Andre said is, coming here, it's a long process to get your green card. Mine, I came here in 2001. I got mine in 2009. So it's a lengthy process. But you say you actually opened your first clinic in 2010.
Right. So I bought my first practice in 2008, but we kept it as Central Florida Orthodontics. And then when I opened a second practice, that's when we launched the Baptiste Orthodontics.
Okay. Well, as keeping it open as possible, why did you think you picked that field? Like, why do you think?
Well, I'll tell you what. I was not a good student most of my life. there's a guy named Malcolm Gladwell. I don't know if you guys heard of Malcolm Gladwell. He's a black sociologist, and he writes these books, and every one of them is a bestseller. A friend of mine told me about his book Blink years ago, and it talks about how we subconsciously see things before our conscious mind recognizes them. Anyways, there came a point in time where I didn't have, I want to say, a lot of options. I played basketball in college. I was mostly there for basketball, not so much for education. And, I feel like part of it was, and this is something Malcolm Gladwell talks about, is kids starting school at a younger age. And I don't know how much time do we have tonight? Because I can really talk a long time about it.
No, let's go. We should go about like an hour. That's the length of the show. Yeah.
Well, one of the great points he makes, and he makes a point about hockey players. And he says hockey players, most of the great hockey players in the NHL are born in January, February, and March, right? And the reason for that is that's the cutoff age. So if you're 6 years old January 1st, you're playing against a kid who's 6 years old in December, right? So when you're young, a year makes a huge difference developmentally. I started school when I was 4 years old, and I think I was not ready for school. And it talks about how kids that sort of are behind in the beginning, most times they don't catch up. And I don't feel like I caught up for a long time. I was a bad student in high school. I was a bad student for the beginning of college. It wasn't until I was deep into college that I really got a little bit better. And then dental school, I did really well in dental school because I was, mature. I was an adult by then. But anyway, so that was my point. How I got into dentistry, I didn't really have a whole lot of options. And I kind of fell into dentistry. I wanted to be a teacher. I wanted to be a biology teacher. And at the time, Teachers College in Canada was very difficult to get into. I didn't really have a legitimate shot at getting into dental school in Canada, but Howard University, I had an uncle who went there, his daughter went there, so I had sort of an in as almost a legacy at Howard University. So that was sort of my best viable option. I didn't know anything about dentistry, but I came to love it as I was doing it.
It's pretty interesting. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, like, okay, so I never knew you was from Canada, but I did kind of get the island background and the Caribbean background. I got that vibe and everything when I first met you, in person. I'm like, yo, Andre has to be from the islands. So your parents are from the islands,
yes,
and they migrated up to Canada, and then you came here. And that transition from school, and that was a very valuable piece that you mentioned about the school not being a great student, because there are students today who probably feel the same way.
Right, and I go talk to a lot of kids in schools, and I can relate. I can tell these kids that are in the class for kids that are struggling, I can tell them, hey, you're better than I was at this stage. Like, and I mean it. Like, you guys are,
And how do they react to that, though, when you tell them that?
I think they react good. Like, I don't know. Some of them might not believe it. They might say, oh, you're a doctor, blah, you were blah, blah, blah. But listen, in Canada, you can stay in high school for as long as you want.
What?
Okay, get that, okay? First of all, when I was in high school, we had grade 13, okay? But you didn't have to leave after grade 13. You could come back.
Hold on.
Let me just tell you this. I'm going to tell you this. I did 6.5 years of high school.
Wow. So hold on. You don't have. How do I grasp that concept?
This is 1990. Okay, so things may have changed because I know they got rid of grade 13. It may have changed in Canada now, but my 6th year of high school, we had a really good basketball team because almost all of our basketball team was in their 6th year.
Yo, cheating.
And then after
it's like a post grad, yeah. It's like
after I went to college for a year and played basketball in college, I had to actually enroll into a high school again in order to get some credits that I didn't take while I was in high school for 6 years before that.
Wow.
What a journey. What a journey.
So I didn't have a very straight line path. I'm not one of those kids who said, I'm going to be a doctor. When I was 5 years old, just went, bam, doctor. No. Let me tell you, I had a friend in undergrad, and she wanted to be a psychologist. And this is probably 3 or 4 years into college. And my aspiration at the time was for her to make a deal with me that if she becomes a psychologist, she'll let me be her receptionist.
Wow.
That would have been cool. That would have been a good job.
So you were thinking like, okay, so you were really shooting yourself low back then. You
Yeah, I guess you could say that, you know.
So what transformed that I guess that mindset? What was the transition? Was it college or like?
I'll tell you
that mindset is everything, because that transition, there's kids now who don't know how to transition. So how did you transition from that mindset to this?
Was confidence, you know. And I had a particular girlfriend at the time, and she was big on sort of like pre-colonial African history. And, you know, she taught me some stuff about Egyptology and just a lot of like really like deep, like sort of African history stuff that I'd never even heard of, you know, and it made me sort of reconsider things and think of the ways that I thought, you know, and just thinking like, hey, you know, wow, we done some pretty great stuff. I'm like, man, you know, maybe there is not a limit, you know, maybe I'm not supposed to be like, you know, at the bottom of this class, you know, maybe I'm supposed to be at the top of this class, you know, and confidence is a thing. I'll tell you, like, you know, it can change your whole perspective on everything.
I want to go in on that really quick. So in Canada, I know in the US, it's similar. Like it's kind of the same thing when you're growing up. You don't have that confidence because in the history books that they're teaching from in the school system, it's a little bit, it's a lot biased. You know what I'm saying?
Think about this though. This is in like 80s, right? So there's no internet.
Right.
There's no BET. There's no, you know, like there's no sort of universally accepted black role models. You never saw a black doctor on TV. You never saw any of this stuff. So that's a whole different era. Like the kids growing up today, like even my little brother's 8 years younger than me. He grew up in a different world than I grew up in. He grew up in a world with way less limitations than the world that I grew up in. And you guys are way younger than me. So like you guys grew up in a totally different world, you know?
Definitely.
Jeez, you look at the perspective of before this little time we have to evolve, you know, and so much happened. And us being young millennials right now, we've been exposed to so much through the internet, through new research that's been happening. So you kind of, you know, think back. It's like, no, what was the world without internet? You know, some people never like thought, like even me, like being raised. I'm 33. There was a time without internet, you know. But you talk to a generation, a Gen Z right now, they'd be like, "What? There was a time with no internet? Like, what was it like?"
Yeah, like a kid could tell you something like ridiculous at school, and there's no way to check it. Like if someone tells you, it becomes fact, and it becomes local fact for that area because all the kids think this is a real thing because nobody else knows. You know,
that's true. And whatever they provide to you, you just take it as facts.
Yeah,
because you had no way to check it. And it's crazy how now it's like, whoa, hold on, you got a lot of people questioning what's going on here, you know. And there's a lot of things that's being, you know, how could I put this? There's a lot of things we just start questioning right now, and the moment you start questioning things, certain things, sometimes you become a target. You know, it's like, you know, you need to get exactly what they provide to you, and that's it. And I was watching a kid in TikTok. He was like a very young kid, so probably like 14, 15. He says, you know what they're scared of? They're scared of the young generation find out all the lies they've been telling us, because now we know. They know that the education they're giving us is all BS. He didn't use BS, but you know exactly what I'm talking about. They know XYZ. They know XYZ. He said, me, I'm not going to this. I'm not going to do that. I'm running my business. I'm doing XYZ, because everything they're teaching you in the school right now, you can just go to Google and Google everything. Back then, we didn't have that.
Yeah.
You know?
But
anyway.
You learn it.
Oh, I'm gonna leave it as that. I'm gonna leave it as that. But go ahead, Joe.
That's a whole rabbit hole that
A whole rabbit hole
Yeah,
out there.
definitely. And then, so thinking about, okay, going back into that transition for you, that mindset, and then becoming a business, getting into business. What made you kind of get into the business? How did you learn about business? Like, was it in college, or did you have mentors? How did you transition into that? You know, okay, buying your practice, and then eventually, you know, get into that next level. Like, let's kind of go there and dig into that. You know, kind of right
You know,
into that era in your life.
business is a very sort of kind of funny thing to me, like I don't see myself as a businessman.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like business sort of takes care of itself if you just sort of, I don't want to say do the right thing, but just do not do stupid stuff. Like I feel like, like I feel like, as an orthodontist, like that's not a typical business. Like an orthodontic practice sort of has sort of built-in safeguards. Like it's really hard to fail as an orthodontist if you don't do stupid things. All like my thing is as long as you're treating people right, you're being professional, you treat your staff well, you treat your patients well, then the business part takes care of itself. I'm not a businessman. I'm not a numbers guy. I'm not a details guy. I like collecting good people, hiring good people, and letting them take care of the business part of it. I just want to do the dentistry part of it. And I feel if I keep doing that and keep making or not making stupid decisions, then business works itself out. So I say I'm not a business guy, but yeah, I don't think I'm a business guy, but I have businesses, so it's kind of weird.
You just focus on doing the right thing, pretty much.
I just started a new business too, but I'm not a business guy.
I get it though, and I understand. I think I know where you're going with that. You're not the typical business guy, but you're just a people person. You just happen to have businesses, and
exactly. That's what it is.
Yeah. So that's cool though. Like just being a genuine person, owning a business. Well, a skill set. Starting with a skill set, dentistry. That's not easy. How long did it take to become a dentist or orthodontist?
Well, once you've graduated college, then it's basically 4 years of dental school and then 2 or 3 year residency after that. So basically 6 to 7 years to
7.
That part after college.
And are you making money after college right away?
Pretty much, yeah. Like you can go and work for somebody and yeah, you'll get paid.
Okay.
Ultimately, you're probably going to have more leverage if you can, ultimately own your own practice or multiple practices. That's really the sort of the way to go for most people. Now, some people, they're very content to just have a job and go home and never worry about anything, right? And there's something to be said for that. If you can leave your work at work and never think about it, that's not such a bad deal. But when you're a business owner, you've got to sort of, you're kind of on 24 hours, right? Now, I don't take much stuff home. I'm kind of eccentric. I'm not a businessman, right? So because when I leave work, I leave it all behind. But there are emergencies or things, or pipe leaks or something like that, and you got to go deal with it. You're always on call, basically.
Which makes sense because at the end of the day, you are the center of everything. Even though you're not a businessman, but all the responsibility fall on your shoulder. Which is
a problem too, because one of the things with Baptiste Orthodontist, which is my practice, Baptiste Orthodontist, is it's sort of I guess it was sort of a good thing and also a bit of a negative thing. It's good because it's very personal because people get to know me because I'm the one they interact with. But at the same time, the practice is so sort of dependent on me that if I'm not there, then it can't operate, right? Whereas some people will make a practice that's very generic and it will just be like whatever, like Ace Orthodontics, and anybody can be there when the patient shows up and it's fine. But the patients come in, they expect to see me, and I'm there every day, so they're going to see me. But that's just it's hard for me to step away, hard for me to take longer vacations. Like in 20 years I've been practicing, I've had one vacation longer than a week.
Wow.
Oh.
And it's not like I've had a bunch that were a week. Like I had one longer than a week, and I've probably had none that were a whole week.
Wow. That's crazy. And you know what? Funny story. If you heard what I said at the beginning with Julian, so I spent about 2.5 years in Medicare, strictly insurance. And along my ways, there has been a couple people who spoke about you, and it's good reviews about your clinic, you know. And I always had in my head while I was in the health field, I need to speak with the owner because I would love to know if they take Medicare and Medicare Advantage so I can represent. Like I promise you, that was in my head for a while, but I never even seek for you. But I know I passed by a couple of your practices. But now look at this. Today we interviewing you, and it's kind of crazy. So I'm gonna ask you right now: do you take Medicare Advantages?
Okay. There is a Medicaid, Liberty, MCNA, and DentaQuest are three Medicaid providers that do cover braces, and we accept those. And we're like one of the only providers for miles. Like people come from Melbourne, they come from Ocala, they come from all over because we're the only one that will do it.
That's unheard of.
Part of the reason we do it, one is it does bring more patients to our door in general. But two, if we stopped doing it, there would be nowhere for these people to go. You know, the problem is too that those insurance companies, they do not accept, they don't approve very many cases. So you have to be very, very severely debilitated dentally in order for them to approve your case.
That's crazy, especially we're talking about Medicaid. That's a whole, you don't want to deal with all these stuff, man. Julian, trust me, you're not missing anything, okay? When it comes to the Medicaid world.
It's a lot of office work, it's a lot of office time, and it's it's not tremendously financially rewarding, but it's rewarding in terms of the help that we can do for kids that otherwise don't have a lot of other options.
Do you take a higher plan like Medicare as well?
I don't think that there's a Medicare orthodontic plan.
Okay.
Wow.
Interesting, man. Yeah, dental is a big deal when it comes to health. So that's why I always wanted to meet with you. And here we are today in 2022. Right? But you know,
James.
huh?
I was about to say James skipping on our opportunity. Look at him.
Hey man, listen, let me tell you, man.
Passing on the opportunity. Look at you.
So before we actually transition to the to the health part, to the other section, I always ask our viewers there that question, especially being a professional on your field. Say there is a young man, young woman watching this today or 20 years from now, and they thinking about getting into that field. What are some of the things they should expect from your eye view based on your experience?
That is tough to say, I know that a lot of people get discouraged by the time that it takes to become an orthodontist or a dentist. When I'm at the schools talking to kids, a lot of times they'll ask, how long does it take to become an orthodontist? And I'll say, basically 10 years, because you're in high school right now. So when you graduate, I think it's 10 years. And they look at me, oh man, that's too long or whatever. And I always tell them the same thing. The time should never be a factor, right? Because if your dream is to be an orthodontist, you've got two pathways you can take, the easy path or the hard path. The hard path is not becoming the orthodontist, right? Hard path is going and getting a crappy job, right? Because at the end of 10 years, 10 years is going to go by the same speed, whether you're working or whether you're in school. At the end of 10 years, you can either still be working that job you hate, which you're going to probably work forever, or you can have exactly the career that you wanted your whole life, right? And you're going to enjoy the school more than the crappy job. Like people don't understand, like going to school ain't that bad when you're in college. Maybe in high school it kind of sucks. But when you're in college, it's not that bad. It's way better than a crappy job. I'll tell you that. Right?
That's right. That's fact right there.
I took the easy way out. Right?
And then
I got friends that took the hard way.
I know you mentioned something that I wanted to kind of cover. about, you know, the business being good and also bad. And this is one of the things when it comes to, I guess, building a brand or a business and putting yourself in as the sole, you know, person. It comes with, I guess it comes with, you know, that the bit of too much responsibility. Almost everybody wants to see you're the man here, and like that. If you could go back, would you have changed that model, or you think like, hey, it's fine where it's at today?
I wouldn't have changed it because that's kind of what we are.
And who you
I
are.
think that's why we've been successful is because, you know, people get, you know, I don't say they get me like I'm the greatest or anything like that, but they get me, and I'm going to be fair to them. I'm going to be honest to them, and I'm going to be a regular person to them, you know. And, you know, I know a lot of people go to their doctor's appointments, and, you know, their doctors might be a little aloof or doesn't really want to spend time with them or talk to them. But I talk to my patients about everything. Like, I give plants to my patients. I've given my patients fishing rods. We used to have patient fishing trips where I used to take patients fishing. You know, I have patients that have become good friends of mine. So, you know, I'm really sort of like right there personally with my patients.
Right.
It's pretty cool.
You're in the trenches with them for real. Like,
Yeah.
like, okay. So I get the model now. So you're involved. It was kind of like that's who you are. So you built the business around who you are, your personality, and you automatically attract people. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have that personality to attract people, you know, and brighten people's day up. So you're helping their smile anyways. So I think that was honestly a great branding idea.
Well, thank you.
That was very, very.
I don't know if that was the initial intent,
but it worked out though.
Yeah, it worked out.
Yeah, that worked out perfect. Like, seriously,
it worked out pretty good so far. I can't complain.
Cool. There's no one way to do things, man. You know, you find out what works for you. It's not a straight path to success. You find out what works for you. You're genuine about it, and you help people, and eventually everything work out itself. You know, so in your case, it worked out perfectly for you because it fits who you are. You know, which is pretty cool.
And you know what? There's one thing that I did learn about business, because I remember when I was an associate and I didn't have my green card. I was working for a guy, and I always wondered. And sometimes you work for guys, and some of these orthodontists, some of them are kind of yellers and they're screamers, and they're, you know, kind of and everyone's scared of them or whatever. And I always thought, you know, like, I don't know how I'm going to do this, like, you know, because I'm not a yeller. Like, I don't get mad. Like, I'm thinking, like, you know, like, how am I going to get my staff to like listen to me and like do what I want them to do? You know what I've learned over the years is that if you treat people well, then when you get their respect, and their respect is, you know, then they don't want to let you down, right? Because now they're not afraid of you being mad at them. They're afraid of letting you down.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just as powerful. And it's just such a better environment than people being scared of you. You know, because I don't have a temper. Like, I don't get mad. Like, I literally don't get mad. Like I don't know if there's probably no one you could find in my family, no one that has ever said they've seen me mad. Like,
come
you know,
on, come on.
No, I don't have that emotion. I don't have it.
That's pretty dope if you ask me, man.
Yeah, that is.
Like, there'll be times where it was in a serious situation. I may have to put on the serious face, like, you know, like where I'm serious now. Right? But deep down inside, I'm not serious. No. Like, my philosophy is don't sweat the small stuff, and it's all small stuff. It's all small stuff. So, like, you know, after my staff, my managers will come to me, and, you know, it's a panic and this and that and whatever. It's the end of the world. You know, it is what it is, right? We're going to deal with it. We're going to get through it. 6 weeks from now, we're not even going to cure that habit. It's not even going to matter, right?
Sure, that's a good perspective to have. Not even in just business and life in general, you know, because, you know, people. I mean, I feel like we are so emotional, especially nowadays. Oh, yeah. You're so emotional, and
we had a crazy night.
That's nuts, man. How we get so emotional, and or feeling get hurt, and then we get mad. And I always have that in mind. I don't get mad easily. I don't. No, I cannot say ever, but I just don't get mad easily.
I don't understand uncontrollable rage. Like when people are like uncontrollable, and that's why the last time I was in a fight was like in 8th grade, right? And even then, I don't think I had rage in me because I couldn't get mad enough to really fight. Even though this guy was a guy that couldn't fight, like I wasn't really fighting him. Like I don't want to punch him in the face. I don't want to do that.
Now I hurt him, right?
I'm just like, yeah, I was fooling around with the guy basically. But it's like I just don't have rage. So if I was to get in a fight as an adult, which I don't even understand how adults get in fights, it just seems bizarre to me. But if I was to get into a fight, it would be hard for me to be aggressive in it because I'm not going to have anger. I'm not going to have anger even in a fight.
That's that right there. Don't let it pass your head, man. Because let me tell you, some people out there listening to this, you're probably like, how in heaven somebody said they never get mad? Let me tell you, man, when you really think about what life really is, it don't worth getting mad. Like every time I get mad, and even my daughter right now, she's 5 years old. She'll get in a tantrum, regular 5-year-old. And then I'll ask her, what have daddy told you about getting mad? And then she put her fist down. Dennis years don't get mad. I said, that's right. And then what does that have daddy tell you? Whenever I get mad, the other person is in control of me. I said, that's right. Do you want people to be in control of you all the time? No. I say, you control your destiny. You control your emotion. And she's 5.
Yep.
And she would repeat that to me. Why? It's simply because you waste so much energy on being mad or angry about something that happened, which most of the time you have no control of. But there's always one thing you have control of is how you react to a certain situation, how you respond to it. So it's a big component you mentioned there that you never get mad in, which is, to me, you're probably gonna live like to be 300 years old.
Seriously, bro. No stress. No.
100%, man. 100%.
Yeah, that's a great perspective. And honestly, like it makes sense now. Okay. All of it makes sense. It's almost like your life, everything for you just pieced all in together just because your, positive attitude, your positive mindset, really, like from growing a practice. And how many employees do you have?
25.
25 employees. See, that's a pretty big team, honestly. 25.
It is. Over the last 5 years, it's doubled over the last 5 years.
And how many locations do you have now?
3 locations.
Three locations. And I know there's one by Olympia High School, right?
Right.
Where are the other 2?
Hiawassee and West Colonial.
Hiawassee and West Colonial. So East Orlando, West Orlando.
They're both west. They're about 7 miles apart. They're pretty close. And then one in Apopka. Our last one we opened about 4 years ago in Apopka. And we have pediatric dentistry for kids there as well. We have a great pediatric dentist, Dr. Alma. She's amazing.
Wow. So
that's
4,
really awesome.
3, 4, man. Okay. And how, since you say you're not a business guy, that doesn't mean anything. So you have to be a great manager. So obviously you're a great manager of your life. Your
I don't be a great manager. I have to hire great managers.
Oh, you're right. You do. So you hire managers, but you still at some point have to manage that manager, or manage your practice, right? And then also you didn't really talk about, but you do have a family as well.
Yes.
And
yes, I have a wife. We've been married for 20 years. This will be 21 years in July.
Nice.
No, in August, 21 years. And I have 2 sons. My oldest son is 19. He is a freshman at Georgia Tech on a track scholarship. The youngest son is a junior in high school, and he is like just a brainiac. He's super, super smart.
Wow.
He runs track too.
Interesting. And any of them going to actually pick up where you actually going to eventually left off? Because it sounds like they just.
My oldest son, he's doing biomedical science and he wants to go into orthodontics. So we'll see how that goes. I know kids change their mind a lot, so we'll see.
As long as you don't get mad at him, he'll follow.
You know, that's not really common. Usually a lot of people who, you know, get into business and, you know, who have businesses, their kids go and do the opposite, you know, just
Right.
and that could be one of the reasons, you know, the way you have always shown your kids positivity. They probably just like, hey, you know, like it's not a bad thing. You probably didn't force it on him. He just probably just naturally gravitated towards it.
Never told him to do that. He just decided he wanted to do it. But my youngest said he wants to be a wildlife biologist, so he's going a different direction.
You said wildlife?
A wildlife biologist. My youngest son wants to be.
I mean, but hey, we're about to transition to the wildlife,
right?
side of things. So since you kicked it off there, let's jump into it. Now you are from the orthodontist to the farmer at the same time, y'all. Like, this is at the same time, so we're not talking about, you know, he's retired from his job. This guy has all of the energy in the world. We want to know how you do it. Like, I don't know, you have what, over 200,000 followers on TikTok. You know, it's growing on Instagram as well. And guys, it's amazing. Like, we're gonna get into that now. So how did you do that, and what got you into the, you know, gardening and farming? And let's start there. Let's go to the beginning of that.
Right. Walmart's still open, man. Why you don't buy your kales from Walmart?
You know, we still buy groceries. We're not self-sufficient, but you know, I feel like we could get to self-sufficient at some point.
I'm pretty sure we could.
Because I also hunt and I also fish, so we got meat and we have fish as well. But it started with one mango tree. I planted a mango tree in the backyard and got a mango. I was like, "Yo, this is pretty cool." You know, and a fruit that you grew yourself tastes even better. And, you know, then I thought, you know what? Why don't I have two mango trees? I can get twice as much fruit. And then it was, you know, let me get an avocado tree. And then it was like a lychee tree. And then it was just on and on and on. And, you know, now I've got over 100 fruit trees.
How long ago was that? That first mango tree?
5 years ago.
5 years. 5 years is when you start planting your first mango tree.
First mango tree. But I'll tell you what, the real, like, hardcore gardening started probably about 3 years ago. And you know, I started just enjoying the thought of just making food. You know, I just thought it was just really cool to harvest something and eat it yourself. And then the social media part of it came in. It's kind of very petty how I started social media, but I didn't even. I was not a social media guy. I didn't even know. Like, I didn't have an Instagram. I didn't know what Instagram was for. I didn't understand Instagram. But then I had a friend of mine, and she had a garden, and she had like 3,000 followers, and she was getting like, she got free boots. And I was like, man, I got a garden too. I get some free stuff. So I said, let me start Instagram. You know, I was trying to come up with a name for the Instagram. At first, it was like Dr. Dre's Funky Food Forest and all kind of crazy stuff. It's like, and then you can change the name on Instagram, right? You can't change it more times. Like, you have to wait like 10 days or something like that to change it. I'm talking changing it. But I couldn't think of a good name. So
the creative side is not there.
What?
I said the creative side is not there.
Well, they were all creative, but they were all terrible. Okay? So
exactly.
Because it was kind of a play on Andre the Giant, sort of Andre the Farmer, right? So I said, all right, we're gonna roll with that. And then I had a patient come in, and I told her how, you know, I'm trying to get my Instagram up, and, you know, it's kind of slow. I got like 300 followers or something like that. And it's hard to get more. She goes, you got to do TikTok. TikTok's where you can really build your Instagram. Like, all right, TikTok's just nonsense, right?
Yeah.
But the thing about TikTok is the algorithm has to learn you, because the default is nonsense. But once it learned, like on my TikTok, I get African history, I get philosophy, I get science, I get politics, I get gardening, I get only the stuff I care about. So it's very educational for me. I find it's the most educational social media that exists. So I'm a huge, by far. It's like, if you want to know something, like even when I was starting this company, Permaculture Life, I was debating whether or not to make it an LLC or to make it an S corp.
S corp, yeah.
Right? And I put in TikTok. Advantage of S corp versus LLC. And
What? You can do that?
Lady comes on in 3 minutes. She made up my mind. Damn. I was like, all right, this makes sense. I'll make it S corp.
Wait, so you can use TikTok like a search engine almost?
Yes. Yeah, there's a search engine there. My wife be searching stuff. Yeah.
Oh,
you want to learn how to make something?
No.
You get like 1,000 people to tell you how to make it in a 3-minute video. Bam.
It's nuts.
Why am I so behind? I'm the youngest one here, and I'm like, nah.
I can't believe you didn't know that, bro. Oh man, I gotta put you on, man. Like,
anyway, so I started making videos on TikTok. This is all with the intention just to get a little bit of free stuff, maybe get some boots or some stuff or whatever. And then I made a video on sweet potatoes, and it got like 100,000 views. And then next thing you know, I started getting more and more followers. So the problem is now you've got to keep coming out with content, right?
Right.
People expect more and more and more. So, but the thing is, I go in the garden, and some days I can't think of anything to do. And I go in the garden, I do like 5 things, and I'm like, shit. I'm like, man, like this is a TikTok, this is a TikTok, this is a TikTok, because they're just things that I do that I've learned over the years that I guess a lot of people don't know, because I don't consider myself an expert gardener. I think I'm still a beginning or intermediate gardener. But a friend of mine told me that an expert is just someone who knows one more thing than the next guy.
Yep.
So to a lot of people, I'm an expert because I know a bunch of things that they don't know yet, right? And there's still a bunch of things I don't know that other people know. And when I learn those things, then I'll know those things. And those people that learn my things, they'll know those things. And it just goes from there, right?
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Like the TikTok thing, man, that blows my mind. And then, okay, and it learns you. So you have your catchphrase, your catchphrase. Everybody has a catchphrase when they get on, and yours is extremely catchy.
What's that?
Hey, guys.
Hey, guys.
Extremely catchy. But it's repetitive. So, like, the repetitiveness actually gets your followers and people who are watching to look forward to that, hey, guys.
Maybe I should have a hey, guys shirt.
Huh.
There you go.
There you go. I think
yeah.
I want the tagline to be "I'm about that life." No, that's the tagline, because permaculture life. I'm about that life.
Yeah.
So we have some gear that with the tagline "I'm about that life."
Yeah, permaculture.
Yeah. Hey guys, I'm about that life. There you go.
Permaculture life. So what's permaculture life then?
All right, well, let me tell you what permaculture life is. So the company Permaculture Life, we're based around sustainability. So basically what we do is we create apparel that's targeted towards gardeners or people that are interested in sustainability and just being environmentally sound. So these hats are made 100% of bamboo.
Bamboo, yeah.
Shirts made with hemp. So all of our products are made with sustainable materials. We have some bags that are made with organic cotton because it's a little more sustainable than some other materials. But pretty much everything we make, we have like these neck gaiters that are made with bamboo as well. We have hoodies that are made with recycled materials. We have beanies that are made with recycled materials. So we have all of our gear is pretty much made in a sustainable manner. And that's kind of the theme. So ultimately, we're not really so much of an apparel company. We're more of a brand. I want us to be thought of as kind of like the Nike for people that are into sort of sustainability and growing their own food. And then permaculture in itself is a word that confuses a lot of people because it's a big word. They think, that's complicated, blah, blah, blah. But it's not, because you're doing permaculture anytime you do anything sustainable. It's all about creating a permanent culture. So it's all about doing things that are sustainable, things that we could do forever. So if you're growing stuff in a sustainable manner, that's a way to do it forever. If you're doing as a massive farm growing one crop, you can't do that forever. You're going to deplete the land. You're going to cause disease. Like in Florida, we can't even grow oranges well anymore because we got citrus greening now because we grew so much just straight orchards of orange. It's not natural. That's going against nature. In reality, you want to have an orange tree next to a mango tree, next to a peach tree, next to a guava tree. You want to have it like it's a jungle. And that's what I'm building. I'm building a food forest where I have all kinds of trees overlapping each other, and like they would in a regular ecosystem. You know, so it's any time you're sort of working with nature instead of working against it. So if you recycle something, you're using a old margarine tin to grow seedlings on your balcony of your apartment, you're doing permaculture. You're part of it. You're about that life. So that's all it is. Any move you make that's towards sustainability, you know, towards being environmentally sound, you're doing permaculture.
Yo,
That's pretty neat, bro.
I never knew that.
Bro, listen.
I didn't even put 1 and 2 together.
as Dr. Andre talking, you're like, man, I just want to go in my backyard and plant something already, man.
Go right now. You plant at night.
Yeah, like you, honestly, like it made, you know, I farming has came, you know, growing your own thing has came, growing your own foods has came into like the mainstream now. You know, with the way the world's going, the way the country has been shifting, people are like, okay, well, we need to grow our own food now. With, you know, things, we won't get too political, and you know, with COVID, and they didn't want to let people in grocery stores if they didn't have the vaccine. So people are like, oh, well, we need to start growing our own groceries, and growing our own foods, and just inspiring people down that route of growing their own foods. You inspired Godfrey, you know, myself, my father as well. He started growing things in his backyard, and he's, you know, definitely, you know, gotten into it, and he watches your videos. He sends them to me all the time as well. And it's funny how much of an impact that you have in the farming side of things. At the same time, you still have an impact in the orthodontics. So, like, how do you manage how do you manage all of that and stay energized? Like, how are you able to do that? All of these different things, and have a family at the same time.
There's a lot of hours.
Educating yourself, like, where are you getting the information? I know TikTok now, but it's just like, I know you had to go deeper into these things. Like, where is all of this time? Where are you finding all of this time? Because I know people want to know.
Listen, there's a lot of hours in the day. My biggest thing is I don't like to waste daylight hours. So the sun's up, I'm up. You know, like, I feel like I don't feel rushed. Like, I watch a tremendous amount of TV. Like I have so much time. You know, in the morning I get up like around 6, whatever time the sun's coming up, depending on the time of year, and I'm out in the garden. So I'll be out in the garden an hour before work. You know, come in, take a shower, go to work, come home for lunch, make a little lunch, walk around the garden, then go back to work. In the evening, if it stays out late long enough, maybe I'll go in the garden a little bit more. You know, we have dinner together as a family. After dinner, I do my Spanish lessons. I'm learning Spanish right now, so I do an hour of Spanish lessons. Then me and my wife will watch TV. We'll watch TV as a family after that. Next day, repeat. But I only work 4 days a week, so I have 1 day off. So my day off, you know, maybe I'll play golf, or maybe I'll go hunting, or I'll go fishing, but I'll work in the garden for at least, you know, 4 or 5 hours on my day off. But that's a whole day. I got a whole day to do stuff, right? And then I got my Saturday, my Sunday. You know, so Saturday, maybe in the morning, we're in the garden, or go to the farmer's market or something like that. You know, then come back, you do whatever. That's a whole day of stuff. You know, Sunday evening, I usually go hunting Sunday evenings. So I just feel like I got so much time. Like I'm not even filling those days with the stuff I'm telling you with. Like, there's extra space in all those days still. I don't ever, like, during daylight hours, sit around. Like, if it's daylight, something's going on. We're doing something.
You know what? Before I even get to the comment Julian just put on there, I was thinking about it as well, right? So he's like, yeah, my son is 19. I'm like, brother, you look like you're 22. So somebody want to know, how old are you, man? Like, Jay just said, okay, here's the number one question. How old is Andre? How old are you?
51.
Yeah.
51. There you go, man. Look, man.
With all of this energy. Okay.
If I can get to 51 looking like that, bro, I drink more wine.
What's the secret, man? Like, what are you putting in your body to, you know, give you this energy every day?
I'll tell you what. There is no nutritionist that would recommend my diet to anyone else. It's not particularly great. I'm not like a health food guy. I'm not a super organic guy. I will eat some Popeyes. I'll eat some whatever. Now, I generally probably eat fast food like once a month, maybe not even that much anymore,
See,
just because of time. But if I'm out somewhere, if I'm out fishing or wherever we get off a fishing boat, oh yeah, I'll go grab some Popeyes. I have no problem with that. So I'm not like against that kind of stuff. I just don't eat a ton of it. But my typical day for breakfast, I'll probably have like a fruit or something like that. I don't eat breakfast really. And then for lunch, I'll make like a shake. I'll have like a protein shake, but it's an unhealthy shake. It's like loaded with peanut butter and cocoa and bananas. It's not particularly protein powder, so it's not particularly healthy. But I have that for lunch. And the dinner, I eat a regular dinner, like meat and some rice or something like that. And then I'll just probably snack badly from like 9 till midnight, basically.
Really?
he's a machine, bro.
Like how?
I don't feel tired. I don't feel exhausted. I feel like I'm ready for the next thing all the time. Like I don't know. I don't think I have. I don't have like a limited amount of energy. Like I feel like I have an unlimited amount. Like when COVID hit, my office was shut down for 6 weeks. So technically, 6 weeks is the longest vacation I ever had because I had COVID. Right? I would spend 10 hours a day in the garden. That's when I created like 90% of the garden. All the stuff down the hill was all brush. I was clearing brush, mulching, digging, tilling, like 10 hours a day. And literally, I'd eat nothing. Like, I'd get up in the morning, straight out there. I'd be out there for 10 hours. I wouldn't eat anything, wouldn't drink anything, come back in when it's dark.
That's passion.
Right?
That's passion that's driving you, because I've been in those mode. You get in a mode when you're just so into it that you even forget about eating.
Yeah.
My little sister, she's autistic and she loves anime. So when she gets in the anime mode and she can watch that, she'll watch it all day and forget about food the entire day. She'll forget about eating, like, because you're so into it and you're so passionate about it that you even forget about everything else. That's amazing that you're operating like that at such a high level at 51 years old. Like,
well, I like to also give myself challenges. So if I have like a mountain of mulch, my thing is, like, I'll bet myself, like, hey, no way you can move that mountain of mulch today. And I'll be like, I'm gonna move that mountain of mulch today.
Watch me.
I'll be on one leg and I'll move the mulch. I remember I had knee surgery last year. I hurt my knee playing basketball last year. I tore my meniscus. I had to have my meniscus.
What he won't tell you, is I crossed him over. That's what happened.
Actually, I blocked the guy. It was actually I went up and blocked the guy. Actually, up until I was 47 when I was able to. My last dunk was 47. But then now I don't think I'll ever dunk again because I'm 51 now and my torn meniscus. I tore both my Achilles tendons in the past as well, but my meniscus tore. And when I got home from the hospital that day, like they told me I was supposed to kind of walk on it right away, right? Because I had a brace and it was wrapped or whatever, but I was still kind of a little woozy from anesthesia. My wife had to basically barricade the door so I wouldn't go outside in the garden. She would not let me get outside. I said, I just want to look. I just want to walk and look. She literally was blocking me. She would not allow me to leave the house that day. I wanted to go and work in the garden that day.
Wow. Wow. You know what I get from all this? This is what I get from all this. These two careers literally become your lifestyle. It's not something that you do. This is you. It's either I'm gardening or I'm working, in my office. So it literally, if I get anything from everything we just discussed, is that's your lifestyle. Because you literally just mentioned that you came from the office for a lunch break, you go to your garden. That's crazy. That's nuts.
Here's my thing. Life, you have to have things to look forward to, right? Mm-hmm. So for most people, they'll have something, like once or twice a year that they really look forward to. They might have a vacation or a trip or something like that they look forward to, right? And life without things to look forward to is terrible, right? Mm-hmm. For me, I have something every single day in my backyard to look forward to. Yeah. I wake up in the morning and I'm excited. I can look forward to, bam, going right outside. So every single day I have that. And then people ask me, well, why don't you go on more vacations? You have to go on more vacations, right? I went on a cruise with my sister, Uber Soca cruise. I don't know if you guys heard of Uber Soca. Craziness. Soca music. But anyways, at the end of it, she asked me how good it was. I said, it was good. She goes, what would you rate it out of 10? I said, I'd probably give it like a 7 or an 8, right? And she goes, see, you had a great time, right? I go, yeah, but the problem is my regular life is a 9. Being home is a 9.
You can't beat that. I don't care who you are. You can't beat that. If you're on vacation, it's a 7 out of 10, but your regular life is a 9 out of 10. And probably it's 9 out of 10 because you have to go to sleep. Probably it's like, man, I gotta go to bed.
Wow,
that's nuts, man. I like that. I like that. And once you have something to look forward to, whatever it may be, whatever hobby it may be, maybe it's family time, whatever gets you excited to wake up in the morning. That's a big part of life, if you ask me. Because too many people just walking around so miserable, you know, everything they grasp from TV, from the peers, from the environment that make them feel so down. I got to listen to a conversation with somebody who called my brother today. We was in the car, we was checking a work site. And then as we driving back to the office, somebody called him and they was just talking about like 99% of everything that I was saying on the phone is a negative conversation. My brother had to try to bring them up, and it's nuts. So to know that a whole bunch of people out there has nothing to look forward to. So the little thing, even if it's a yellow flower or if it's a bird that you have or a cat or a dog, your kids that you have to look forward to, that make your whole day, is just priceless. Like me, for example, I'm going to just use myself for example. My best part of the day is coming home. And whenever I come home after 9 o'clock, it's not the best anymore. But let me tell you why it's the best time. The moment I open my garage and I close it, before I can open the door to get inside the house, my daughter and my son is already at the door. Daddy! And giving me a hug. How was your day? Giving me, that's what I look up to. And I can't wait to get home. And when I go to work, I'm like, man, I'm going to have the best day of my life because I'm looking to that one moment. So when you said that you wake up excited, you have your garden, you have been a professional at your career. It's like, man, what's not to be excited about? Plus, you have fun doing it. That's like, come on, man. Like, you can't beat that. 7 out of 10 on vacation and 9 out of 10 in my regular lifestyle. I'll take that any day, bro.
You know what? I feel like there's too many people that have a negative outlook on things, and it's a wrongly negative outlook. They ask people all the time, like, people are just bad. People are just bad. I go, listen, do you think the majority of people are good or the majority of people are evil? Because I think they're good, right? And then when I ask them, the people, like, I say, how many people do you know? And they'll say, oh, I know 100 people, whatever. I go, how many of the people you know are evil? Right? And they can't name 2 or 3 people that they know that are evil, right? So 98% of the people they know are good, and yet they have this perception that the majority of people are evil. The majority of people are good, and they have to inherently be good because you can't have a society that functions as a social animal with people that are bad. They have to be good, but just means that they conform to the rules that are required for you to be a social animal. That's all it means. So people are inherently good. They have to be good, or else we're not social. Wow. Right? So you go to the mall and there's a guy behind you in the grocery store or whatever. Like, you're not worried about the guy stabbing you in your back, right? And it's a stranger. Like, if people were all bad, you'd never turn your back on a stranger, right? But we get into a bus full of people, we get into a train full of people, and we're not like thinking everyone's trying to kill us, right? Because we know people are inherently good. Whether we accept it or consciously know it, we know it subconsciously.
That's powerful.
Everyone wants the same thing we want in general, right?
Like that.
There's outliers, right? Of course. Right?
Yeah, that's a really, really good perspective to look at it. I never looked at it that way, where, just that I know that there is more good, but I just never really thought that deep into it.
Way more good. Way more.
Yeah, but the media portrays everything going bad, but it's like, yo, it's a huge world out here. We don't even see half of what they're doing every day.
The world is always getting better. The world's not getting worse. It's always getting better. Like, trust me, you wouldn't like being alive right now in the 60s or the 50s or the 40s or the 30s. This is the best time in human history for you to be alive. This is the best the world's ever been. It's never been better than this right now.
Mm-hmm.
And it only gets better.
That's how deep mind control is, though, because people are just going crazy and all of this. You know, if you watch the news all day, you can easily get manipulated and swayed, and they can control your emotions and how you feel about things. And if you just go outside, you don't even see any of that. Take the TV away, you don't see any of that.
Conspiracy theorists, right? And I don't believe that there's any sort of advantage in trying to make you feel or think a certain way. I believe that the media is lazy and it's money driven, right? So what sells and what gets clicks are those things. But I don't think that there's a greater plan for it. I just think that's just, and it's easy. They're lazy, so it's an easy story, and it's going to get people to click. And that's what we're in a society where you get paid by the click. So that's what's going to drive the news cycle regardless.
Mm-hmm. PPC.
It's nuts, man. I'm so happy you said that, doctor. There's so much good going on, and but like Julian said, they focus on the bad things. Why? Because that's what get the clicks. That's what sells.
It's easy for us. Like we're hypocrites too, because we don't want to see the clip at the Oscars of every person going up accepting their award. We want to see the one where the black man slapped the other black man in the face.
Yeah, we want to see a slap, bro. And that happened every year.
Exactly. But no one wants to see the one that went perfectly smooth, where a guy just came up and accepted his award and walked back down.
That's boring.
The highlight. Nobody cares about that, right? So we say the media does this. The media only gives us what we want, right? If we didn't want it and we wouldn't watch it, they wouldn't put it on.
They wouldn't give it to us. That's a clear way to put it, man. Yeah.
People like drama. People like the silliness. People like entertainment. We like to be entertained.
A bunch of times already, right?
Oh yeah, me too.
I haven't seen any other person accept an award yet.
Oh, there was other people.
Seriously, like that's the only thing on the timeline you can scroll today. Everything was that slap, like from memes to videos, everybody laughing.
And that was people, us, posting it, right? It's regular people posting it. It's not the media. It's us doing it.
It's us.
They're doing their job, and we just taking it and running with it. So, Andre, I have another, one kind of like one hitter quitter question here about permaculture life, and where do you see, where do you see that when it comes to the youth in the community and getting more people into gardening, and how where do you see that going, and how do you plan on getting into our communities and teaching kids? I know you're already starting gardens with youth as well, but where do you see yourself, permaculture life?
Well, ultimately, I want permaculture life to be a brand. I want it to be the brand that represents people that are in this space, because there's no brand that really represents us. And like I said, right now we are in one elementary school. We're building a garden for them. I've done summer camp at the YMCA as well, where I've taught them how to plant and how to, go home with a plant and all that stuff. There are some workshops that I plan on doing. But ultimately, we can only sort of do as much as permaculture life allows us to do. So the bigger permaculture life gets, the bigger our sort of aspirations can be. And ultimately, I want them to be big. I don't see why we can't have our own summer camp, where we get kids, even inner city kid or something like that, and we run a camp for the summer for 6 weeks where they can be there all day and they can learn how to plant stuff. They can learn how to grow food. They can learn the principles of gardening and have them do that for 6 weeks during the summer. I think that would be a really cool way for young kids to spend their summer. So it's things like that and bigger programs. We ultimately want to be as big as we can be, and we want to give back proportionally to how big we are.
Right.
It's really interesting. That's pretty interesting. I could even try to imagine myself to see if that was something I'll enjoy as a young child, and I think I would probably do. You
Well,
know,
the kids, if you watch the videos of the kids we do at the elementary school, like
mhm.
they
They
love
get
it.
excited.
Like today we saw the corn was starting to grow. We got cucumbers coming up.
Yeah,
Um,
that's exciting.
like they're seeing the plants growing, and it's been
Mhm.
about 8 weeks, maybe 10 weeks that we've been growing now. So they're seeing the progress, and they're really liking it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty cool, man. I think that is so unique, so different. And I could picture myself looking forward to that because you can actually see it. I think my daughter's school, I think they provide them with I forget what it was, but we had to put it on the little soil, put water on there, and every day she wakes up, "Mommy, Daddy, can I see the cup? Can I see if it grows?" And we'll show it, like, "Here it is, here it is." "Oh, okay. I wait for tomorrow." And then when she finally see it, like, "Oh my God, that is so cool!"
Yeah.
So just that excitement, it's not something you see every day. So I believe farming is a key component to have the kids, get excited again because everybody right now getting so industrial, and we all depend on what's been provided to us. But me personally, my wife probably watching this. I'm not a guy. I don't like the dirt, like putting stuff. I don't like it, right? But after today, it's like, maybe it's not so bad, right? It's like,
Embrace the
man.
dirt. You gotta embrace the dirt.
No, it's crazy, man. It's like, well, maybe it's not something. Maybe me and my daughter and my son, we can go back there and just make sure the end don't bite them, And then
I'll tell you what, when you get that first piece of food that you grew yourself from a little
Right.
seed and you get to eat that thing, it's gonna taste like the best thing you ever had.
Yeah.
oh man, yeah,
Yeah.
I'm gonna go plant something tonight, bro. Like,
Yeah. It's so crazy how I guess I can say that it intertwines with life, honestly. Even you're teaching kids life lessons. Like, you don't reap the harvest the first day you plant the seed.
hmm
Anything in life. So even if if you want to go be that orthodontist, or if you want to go be whatever you want to be in life, you have to go through that process. And when you plant that seed, it takes time. You have to cultivate, you have to water it, you know, you have to nurture that seed before it does provide you with the harvest, which is your goal, with your ultimate goal, and what you want, what you're producing. So like that's a key. I think that's major
Yeah.
Yeah,
thing. We definitely should look into doing some things. You said, did you make the S corp or the LLC?
that's cool. That's
That's
cool.
corp.
Okay, you did the S corp.
We want to have shares.
Okay, you want to have shares?
We have shares in the company, right? So
Right.
that's what
Okay. So
But
people can invest.
no.
No.
Well, eventually.
Okay.
Right now, the shares are just for the sort of the like my partners right now that are involved in the program. Right now. But it's funny because I have a lot of friends that know about this thing, and I feel like and everybody wants to be an investor. Like I have like we have the investors lined up. Like there's tons of people that want to invest. We just don't need any funding right now. I'm sort of flipping the bill for everything. But when we do expand and we get big enough for investors, I don't think that'll be a problem because I've got a ton of friends who are lined up and they want to be part of Permaculture Life Inc. But we just don't need it right now. So
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's dope. Do you see it getting into like technology, like apps, like a permaculture app, life app or something? Like
I could see that. I could see that because, like I said, we're not trying to be an apparel company strictly.
right.
We're really trying to be a brand. We want to get into the educational space as well. I've had a lot of people come to me and want me to sort of create like courses and digital products and things like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Like e-courses and things like that. So I've thought about maybe doing some videos that are sort of exclusively to the Permaculture Life website. Also to help draw some traffic there as well.
Definitely.
Yeah,
But there's a
that's pretty
saying in gardening that the best time to plant a tree is 20 years ago, and the second best time is right now. So it's never too late. Now is the time to do it. You don't have a time machine. You can't do it 20 years ago, but you could do it right now.
Can do it now.
Right.
Right
Absolutely.
now. A time will come when you harvest.
That's true.
So,
You know what's crazy? That slogan is also used in the life insurance industry, and especially when it comes to the college saving strategies. I don't know if you understand, if you remember that, Julian. It's like, the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago, and the next best time is now. So it's with the perspective of, the sooner you start, the best time to have life insurance was 20 years ago.
Right.
The best time to put life insurance for your kids is 20 years ago. But the next best time is, well, you don't have it today. Today is the next best time. So
absolutely.
it kind of work. And I think we have a question. Is that a question, with the weather we have right now? What should we plant now? Oh, we have a question. With the weather we have right now, doctor, what should we plant now?
Well, now you want to be planting your summer things. So you want to be planting like your eggplants, your sweet potatoes, ginger, turmeric. What else? Like your squashes, your watermelons. Those are the kind of things. Like most of your green vegetables, like we kind of peppers. You can plant all your peppers now as well. But your lettuces and your kales and all that stuff, it's going to be too hot for that. They won't grow well.
So,
Even tomatoes. You can plant some tomatoes now as well. It's a little late.
This question bring me a question now, doctor. I like mangoes. When is the best time to plant the mangoes? The mango tree? Because I know that was your first one. I'm like, this probably be my first one too, because I love mangoes.
Is it all summer long? All summer long. But I would plant it right now because you want to get really established so that when the winter does come, it's really secure. It's got a good root system and it's healthy enough to handle any cold freezes that we have.
From a professional. And what has been some of the most challenges you see people go through when it comes to planting at the right time, or the right fruit or vegetable? What has been the most challenges you've seen so far?
Well, I'll tell you what. I don't have to tell you about other people. I can tell you about my own challenges because remember, I'm new to gardening. So I've had, there's another saying in gardening that the difference between a good gardener and a great gardener is a great gardener's killed way more plants, right? So I've had my share of problems as well. And my biggest problem is my property. The soil is, you're very welcome, Sabrina. The soil is terrible. It's sand, basically, which is most of Florida soil is sand anyways. But also I have a lot of oak trees, big mature oak trees, and they cover the light. So I don't get a lot of light in there. I've got poor soil. I've got the roots of all these oak trees sucking out whatever nutrients they can. So I've got a lot of negative factors in there that I have to fight. And I have to fight that a lot by augmenting the soil, amending the soil with a lot of mulch and organic matter. So my biggest problem has been that. And also just not knowing stuff. Like I planted stuff a bunch of times that I didn't know anything about. Like I planted my first dragon fruit. I didn't know a dragon fruit cactus needed a trellis. I just planted it because I saw it at Home Depot. 3 years later now, I'm using a mulberry tree to trellis my dragon fruit because I didn't build one. Now, since then, I've built a bunch of dragon fruit trellises. I even have on TikTok videos on how to build a dragon fruit trellis. But when you start out, you're gonna make some mistakes. I have videos on 4 mistakes people make when they're doing a raised bed garden, and all 4 of those are mistakes I made. That's how I know those are 4 mistakes. You're gonna learn, and you'll make some mistakes in the beginning, and that's just part of doing it.
Yeah,
personal experience.
Yeah,
that's how you get better at everything. Honestly,
exactly. You learn more from your mistakes than your successes.
Yeah, absolutely. Wow, I didn't know how much gardening is literally like life. Honestly,
we did a whole course on this, man.
That's why he wakes up every morning happy. You get to look forward to possibly seeing a new fruit or something pop up.
It's true. Like this year I got like 6 pineapples coming up. Like and a pineapple is such a cool looking fruit when it's forming. It grows on a plant, right? It goes on a stalk, and it's a little pineapple just
right
every day. I'm excited about it.
I'm curious now. Do you have which if you don't, I think that'd be pretty cool. Do you have a camera that's like there to actually fast it forward to see how they grow over time?
No, I don't. I don't. Yeah, a time lapse sort of camera. I don't have one. No.
That'd be cool.
That'd
What
be pretty
happens?
cool.
What happens when a pineapple when it turns yellow? What happened
You mean like, well,
while it was growing?
while it's growing,
Yeah, it just turned yellow,
then it's ripe.
all the way yellow, like bright
Probably,
yellow.
probably means it's ripe.
What? Oh wow, we
'Cause some
thought
of the,
something.
when you grow a home pineapple, like they don't get as much nutrients sometimes, so they may be smaller than a store-bought pineapple.
Yeah, it was very small.
Yeah, so that might just be. It might have been full grown. It might be right.
I think we threw it away. I think we thought something was wrong. Something killed the pineapple. It just turned yellow. It just turned yellow. We thought something happened to it.
Might have threw away the sweetest pineapple ever, right there.
Right?
Like, dang, I had no clue. Sorry to put y'all on blast.
Like, sorry, family. I had to say that. So we know next time.
It's dope though. Like James, when we get some time and we gotta go visit Andre and his oasis, bro. It's beautiful.
Oh yeah, I'd
Godfrey
love
took me
to.
out there and it was crazy. Like,
Oh yeah, I saw that short clip. Like you guys was actually in the back.
yes, bro.
Man, I would love to go over there.
I was eating plants. He had beehives, like
Just let me know.
yeah, the bees. He had the bees. He had every tree you can think of. I feel like, sheesh, sugar cane. I know you guys, island guys, know more about that than I do.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah,
I got a lot of sugar cane.
everything, man. It's a dope experience. So, Andre, let the people know where they can find you and how they can go and purchase some gear as well.
Sure. You can go to permaculturelife.com. Right now, I just did a video on cassava. So for the month of March, I've promised that I will give away a free cassava stalk with any purchase. So you'll get a free cassava stalk in your purchase. And for the rest of this month, which is March, and you can basically stick that in the ground and cassava will grow. And at the end of the season, cassava is the same thing as yucca. It's a root crop.
Ooh.
And yeah, it's really good. I discovered how good it was last year when I had my first harvest, and I really enjoyed cassava. So basically, all you're gonna get is a stalk. You stick that in the ground. I have instructions in my video, and you'll have cassava by Thanksgiving. It'll be, you just pull it up, and you'll have cassava roots just growing in all directions. So permaculture, that's the website, permaculturelife.com. You can find me for orthodontist. You can find me at baptisteorthodontist.com. But permaculturelife.com, $1 for every purchase goes towards building community gardens. And we're currently building a garden in an elementary school right now. So if you guys can help us out, I really appreciate it. Or you can just subscribe on the website and you'll get all our newsletters, all of our deals, our new products, our giveaways. You'll get notices for all those things.
Yeah, this is pretty cool, man. I went to the website and it's very, I love how it's like so green and it's like really, really like in your face and promoting the brand, and I love it. And all the beautiful pictures interacting with students, and it's pretty special, especially not giving back. As you are investing into those great product with the bamboo hat, which I would love to get my hand on one because like, man, this bamboo, I wonder how it feels. And you say it feels pretty smooth. It's like,
they are super soft. Bamboo is one of like the softest fabrics. Like the bamboo net gaiters that we have. Those are pretty cool. I know a lot of the ladies, they like to wrap their head in it. Even the guys with the dreads, they'll use them as like head ties and stuff like that too. So it's pretty useful. And it's made with bamboo. Like I said, the hats are bamboo, the shirts are hemp. And the rest of the stuff's either recycled materials or organic cotton.
It's pretty cool. Very, very cool, man. And it's something that's pretty unique because you don't find this everywhere, like bamboo hat. That's crazy. No, you find cotton and something else. But no, it's pretty cool to also know that part of that will go towards giving back to the community. So we really appreciate that. But man, I just want to say personally before Julian closes out, thank you. That's one of the most valuable conversation that I've had to actually know about something new, especially in gardening. And I literally said after this conversation, somebody that I hate planting stuff, I hate the dirt. It's like, man, maybe it's not that bad, So that just tell you how your work influence any individual, because it's very unique and it's not often we see that. So I just want to say personally, thank you for being here. Thank you for your time. And I learned a lot, and I look forward to visit that garden and you know, I'm sure I'm gonna have fun.
Yeah, you have fun and you walk away with some goodies too.
There you go. Well, I'm definitely gonna go now. You say,
Yeah. That's when you're gonna end up becoming the gardener, James. I'm telling you.
oh, seriously, man. My whole yard I'm gonna have mango trees, you know, everything you can think of. I'm gonna have back there.
Oh man, you're Haitian. You know what? JJ, I'm out here planting fish not flowers. That's one of my tips. When those plants are young, you gotta pitch the flowers off. That's gonna get it to produce more down the road. But man, you're Haitian. You gotta have some mangoes. I have a Haitian mango in my. I have a Baptiste mango actually.
Bro.
Yeah,
yeah, he does.
Actually, I got a branch from somebody, and I grafted it onto another tree, and I made a Baptiste mango tree.
What?
Yeah, bro. It's crazy, bro. You just got to go out there and see for yourself, honestly. Like, it's,
Or you can go to YouTube and you can watch
my
full garden tour on YouTube and Andre the Farmer.
Wow.
YouTube, TikTok. Go on TikTok. He has videos for days to watch. It teaches you everything. He even made chocolate, guys. He made chocolate out of cacao.
Chocolate what?
Chocolate? Like
he made chocolate, bro, from scratch out of the cacao bean. Yeah.
We did cow tongue soup.
Go look on the IG. Go look on all of that.
Hey, Julian, can we go there next week, bro?
Come on over, man.
I'm down. But yeah, we like James said, we thank you, Andre. Honestly, it is an amazing interview, and it's really like, you know, genuine. That's what I wanted it to be like today, especially that fits you more than anything and who you are and your brand and how you carry yourself. And we you know, we look forward to doing it again, meeting everybody. Like he said, www.permaculturelife.com. Follow him on IG, TikTok, Andre the Farmer as well. And also, if you need any, you know, dental orthodontics work, braces or anything like that, guys, he's the man in the city. Yep. It's a side hustle, and he's the man in the city. You know, everybody knows about him. So go see him. You want to get your smile, you know, correct, your smile perfect. Andre is the guy. And we're going to close out another great episode. We appreciate you, brother. James, you got any more words? Any last things?
No, I just want to know, Dr. Andre, what is the last thing you want the viewers to get today? Coming from you, from the GOAT himself, you know, so it's all yours, brother.
Well, I just want to say thank you guys for having me on here. I really appreciate that. And I appreciate all the people that are watching. You know, like I said, you know, life is short. You know, we always need things to look forward to. And gardening is great because it gives you something to look forward to that you can have in your own home every single day. And whether that's a pot and a plant next to a window, whether you got 10 acres in the backyard, it doesn't matter. You know, watching something grow and getting food from that thing is an amazing thing. So, you know, get out there and grow some stuff, guys. That's all I can say. All right, but thanks a lot. I appreciate all you guys.
Oh,
awesome,
right,
man.
We appreciate it, man.
We appreciate you. Thank you.
Anybody else have any questions? Last second questions for Andre before he goes. He is out tonight.
Going once, going twice.
Everybody did say thank you though as well, Andre. So we are gonna close out tonight. Another episode of the Agent and Broker Podcast, y'all. Have a good one.
All right, see you guys. Bye.
All right.
Nice.
Money soldier. I thought the agent and the broker put you on the right path. And if it ain't adding up, then do the right math. And when you wanna come up, some might laugh. But them be the types to be the overnight staff. Always be a worker. We tryna be some owners. Sometimes might strike out, sometimes we hitting homers. But one thing's for sure, when the money gets uncovered, hit the agent and the broker. Say thank you to my brothers.